In my relatively recent video entitled Exposed, You're Being Lied to, Here's the Truth. That video was released just in January, about 7 months ago. I discussed the fact that the single most highly populated with black residents community in the entire Southern California region, which consisted of 86.5% blacks, had a median income of $81,214 per year. Actually, it's a lot higher now, because when this report came out, it was actually, I believe it was in 2008. Now we're in 2017. So the median income is probably about 100 grand today. And this is the most highly populated with black residents region in the entire Southern California area. And this, we're looking at about 130 communities, I believe. This is the one that has the most blacks in it. Watts is only about 39% black. Compton is only about 42% black, 41%, something like that. Now, in this most highly populated region, 75.7, probably about 80% of the blacks own their own home, and only about 20% rent. And we contrast that with Beverly Hills, which is 81.8% white. It had a median income of $96,312 per year. Home ownership was only at 43.5%. The majority in Beverly Hills rent, the majority in Windsor Hills own. The majority of residents who are black own their property. That was an eye-opening report to a lot of people. Now, I'm not even showing the most prosperous black region. I'm just showing the one with the most number of blacks, the highest concentration of blacks. Now, if we look at Ladera Heights, which is number 6 in terms of the black density population, or the density of the population, the median income in Ladera Heights, predominantly black region, is much higher than it is in Beverly Hills. See, a lot of people don't know that. Most people didn't know that. Now I'm going to show you another community in Texas.
I was going through some of my past videos and I ran up on a video that we actually shot about 3 years ago. And you know, here we're all about combating the anti-black propaganda war. And one of the things that they do to us in this propaganda war is to put out that we can't have nice neighborhoods, that we can't do nice things for ourselves. We have crime, we have drugs, that's all that we have, which is a bold-faced lie. And what I was doing in this particular video was showing you a black neighborhood, all black people stay there, and you will see in this video the type of homes that's out there. Now, this is what I push for. I want us to replicate what I'm going to show you in this video. And this is why these white supremacists want to keep us held down and don't want us to do anything for ourselves. Because if you replicate what you're about to see in this video all over the nation, white supremacy is done. Because in order for white supremacy to succeed, it must have a permanent underclass, which they have selected black people to be the people that their permanent underclass, I guess, they want to go after. But what you see in this video is just a small glimpse of what we can do when we unify, do for self, have businesses, and have the right focus and keep our mind on the right thing. But watch this video, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think about it. All right, you remember I told y'all I was going to show y'all a successful black neighborhood. Now we're going to make a tour around here. I'm going to show you the size of the houses and everything. It's a black neighborhood. They work on the road right now, but check this house out. We're coming up on another house on this side. As you see, this is another big house that we have out here. And just took the neighborhood, another black family in this house. This looks like one of the older homes. Another good size house. Let's see here. So as you can see, they got a lot of road construction out here, but as we're gonna keep driving through, you're gonna see, like, can you turn down this street right there? Let's see. You have another home here. Slow down a little bit, baby. As you can see, it's another home. Look at the landscaping and everything. Let's make it right here. Show them this house here. More homes. And this, once again, it's a black neighborhood. You don't see no thugs nowhere. Look at this house right here. Y'all can see it. It says before black people stay there too. Do you see any thugs? None of them around the corner at all. There's more, homes here. Um, you can see that one's a home there. Yeah, make it left here, babe. Let's show more homes. This is some more houses. As you can see, this is all our people. You can look at. Another one right there. Man, that's a big house. I didn't realize they had that one out here. What size is that?
See, this is precisely why I vehemently reject the ideal of classifying the entire black American race as a community. A race does not a community make. You're looking at a black community. So when you talk about the black community, and you're basically presuming that all black Americans are a community, that is a misnomer. That is not the case. Okay, so if we want to talk about a particular black community, we can have that discussion. But to classify the black American race as a community is inaccurate. We are not a community. This is a productive and prosperous community. And typically when people refer to the black community, they're taking the lowest common denominator. They're taking the worst of the worst, and they're classifying that as the black communities. Typically they're referring to a ghetto. A race does not a community make, and a ghetto does not exemplify or represent the black community. There is no such thing, but if it did, it would not be exemplified by a ghetto. Fact of the matter is, there are only about 7% of black Americans in America, you can quote me on that, 7%, do your research, that actually live in what can be properly classified as a ghetto. 7%. But yet, even when black people, and it's typically ghetto black people who do this, they say the black community is this, the black community that. There are no fathers in the black community. There's too much crime in the black community. There's too much drugs in the black community. You're talking about your ghetto community. That is not the black community. This is a black community. Okay? And I just talked about Ladera Heights, Windsor Hills, all of these black communities that truly are communities, but you are not a part of those communities unless you are a part of those communities. Those are geographical communities that happen to be black. The entire black race is not one big monolithic community. I'm sorry, that's not the case. And that is part of the strategy to make black Americans look bad. And unfortunately, black Americans are the most guilty for doing that. And like I said, it is not people that live in communities like this who refer to the entire black race as the black community. It's people that typically live in ghetto environments, who live in the worst communities. And they're the ones who are the harshest critics of the black race, and they'll say the black community is this way. That's why you have so much self-hate. You have black men that hate black women. You have black women that hate black men. And in every case, you are telling on yourself, because if you came from a decent family structure, if you're a black woman and you had a real man for a father, if you had real men as brothers, if you had real men as cousins and uncles, and if you were capable of dating real black men, instead of the losers you have dated, you would not be so hypercritical of black men in general, because you would know that the black men that you have encountered who aren't worth anything do not exemplify black men. You would know that because you would come from a better environment. And the same with you black men that hate black women. All this negative crap that you say about black women, that reflects on your family, who you're capable of dating, your mother and your sisters, your aunts, and everybody else. If you truly think that all black women are a certain way, I'm speaking to you black men, and it's always negative, that says more about you than it does about them. You see? See, I guarantee you the black women that grew up in communities like this, and Ladera Heights, Windsor Hills, the places I'm talking about that I'm very familiar with, that they would never make those types of statements because they are surrounded by black men who represent excellence. They're surrounded by black women who represent beauty and excellence and intelligence and education. So, and they know that all of that ghetto ratchetness, that hood rat nonsense, that is not the exemplification of their race. They know that. But unfortunately, the ones who make the most noise are the ones who are the most clueless.
That was huge. They got their barbecue pit and everything. You know, you can see that one.
Oh, and let me throw this in there for all you white racists. The most common thing you'll see in comments on social media is that wherever there's a black majority, it's a shithole. For some reason, they love that term shithole. So I'll go ahead and use it. They'll basically say it's crime-ridden, it's full of drugs and just gangbanging and all types of graffiti and all types of foolishness. Truth of the matter is that the majority of you white racists could never afford to live in these black communities. You don't have enough money. You could not afford to live in these black communities. You wish you could, but you cannot afford it, versus where you do live. The white people that I love and respect, they're not racist. And most of them are very successful. I mean, I don't love and respect them because they're very successful. It just happens to be that I travel in those circles. So that's who I come in contact with, people that are very successful. I have no problem if a person's dead broke. If they're a decent person, that's worth far more than money. And you can be a friend, you can be an ally, you can be an associate. No matter how broke you are, it's not about money. But they just happen to be very successful and they're not racist. The white people that I love, know, and respect, and am related to, by the way, very successful. And just like I talked about the black people who are hypercritical and their self-hatred exposes their background and their experience and their poverty class mindset, it's the same with the white racists. Your externalized hatred, which is rooted in your self-hatred, also exposes your background, your ignorance, your misery, and your poverty class mindset. Let me say that again, your externalized self-hatred. Because if you study psychology, they will tell you that most of the racism is rooted in self-hatred and a lack of self-esteem and personal insecurity and jealousy. You see, that's why the Black Wall Street was totally annihilated. It was destroyed. Over 10,000 prosperous and successful blacks were made homeless by the jealous whites under the pretense that something had occurred that they knew had never occurred in the first place. They did the same thing to Rosewood and many other black townships that were successful. And it's only when they were very prosperous and successful and made the poor, jealous, insecure, racist whites look bad and feel bad. They would do the same thing to this black community if they could, out of jealousy.
That's another one right there. Yeah, you turn back around. So as everybody can see, this neighborhood, like I'm telling you, it's a black neighborhood. You just don't see nobody out. But I'm telling you, I'm back home. And this has always been one of your communities that would be more successful. But a lot of these black people, they bought houses and they built land. And, well, let me straighten that up. They bought land and built houses on them. Slow a little bit, you can see that one again. Yeah. But you see no thugs. See what happens when you don't have no thugs in your neighborhood? You see what you can have? And this is what, we all need to aspire to do, to try to do things for ourselves. I'm just trying to see if I see some of the brothers out here. Well, I guess everybody, people over here go to church a lot, so you don't see them until later in the afternoon. And they just now built this house. Yeah, I guess you go, like I said, you go around, turn around, come on back. So see, that myth about, when it comes to the, black people, that we can't have good neighborhoods, that's a lie. They got many neighborhoods in America as black neighborhoods that don't have all the problems, don't have the hood rats and thugs and all the shooting and everything else. We need more neighborhoods like this and build upon that. and that's why I wanted to show you guys this. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna visit my dad. This is my dad's stay. But let me know what you think about it. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Brian McZill. I'm here in Port Arthur, Texas, at Lakeside Edition on Bayou, man.
All right, now you see this brother's house, right? I mean, his brother got his stuff together. Now, you're a business owner, correct?
Yes, sir. On McZill Construction.
All right, so you're a black business owner, got his own stuff, live in a black community. Now, this is a black community, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to let people think that I'm not lying. This is an actual black.
Okay, let me interject something real quick. He said he owns McNeil Construction Company.
All right, so you're a black business owner, got his own stuff, live in a black community. Now, this is a black community, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to let people think that I'm not lying. This is an actual black community. His brother doing it, family man, everything. So what advice you got for the brothers, young and sisters, that's trying to make it?
The best advice I could give, man, is to find Christ, man. Put him at the center and the head of your life, man.
Mm-hmm.
And with Christ, you can do anything. And I give all of this glory and honor to him. All of what you see is because of Christ, his favor and his blessings. We're extremely grateful, man.
Closing, I just want to point out that I borrowed this particular video from The Advice Show. He is the narrator of the video. And that is the link to his Patreon site. And his show is The Advice Show. If you're not subscribed to it, you might want to do that. He puts out good content. And with that, I will close this video.